There's a brand that's been making amplifiers in Japan since 1972. They've never had a fire sale. They don't do discounts. And they build every single unit by hand. Because they've decided that if you're going to own one, you're going to own it for 30 years. That brand is Accuphase. And on the other side of the room, a speaker with dual 15-inch woofers and a studio monitor heritage that goes back decades. The JBL Project Everest DD67000. Today's Sound Gallery by IMAS is now an authorized Accuphase dealer in Singapore. And we're going to talk about why these two belong together. Welcome back to the Sound Gallery Show. I'm Marco from marketing. So let me give you a bit of a background on who these people are. Accuphase was founded in Japan in 1972. They've been based in Yokohama since 1973. That's where every single unit is built today. The name itself is a statement of intent. Accu from the word accurate. Phase, the most important factor in audio reproduction. They literally named the company after what they care about most. The slogan is, enrich life through technology, not marketing fluff. They mean it literally. Here's what actually separates them from most brands. They hand assemble every unit, not because they can't scale, because they've chosen not to. An Accuphase from 15 years ago still sounds excellent today. They engineer for longevity, not for obsolescence. And you won't find Accuphase on Lazada. They only sell through authorized specialist stores. If you've been looking at gray market imports, there are stories, conversions that didn't go as planned. On gear at this price point, that's not a risk worth taking. Let me walk you through what we have on demonstration here at T-Space in Tampines. The centerpiece is the A300, a pair of them running as dedicated monoblocks, one amplifier per channel. Accuphase built the A300 to mark their 50th anniversary. It was its statement piece, and hearing it, you understand why. It runs in Class A, 125 watts into 8 ohms, damping factor 1000. This is not a warm, romantic Class A amp that's going to gloss over everything. It's precise, it's controlled, it's powerful. Driving the monoblocks is the C2900 preamplifier. The C2900 uses balanced AAVA volume control. There's no potentiometer in the signal path. The signal stays clean and consistent across the entire volume range. Now, when you sit down and listen to this system, the first thing that gets people isn't the bass or the detail, or any one thing you could point to. It's the silence, the space between the notes. Class A amplification runs continuously. There's no switching, no crossover distortion. It has this quality of just being quiet in a way that lets the music breathe. Once you hear it, it's hard to go back. Now, the system doesn't exist in isolation. You need speakers, and what we've paired the A300 and C2900 with is the JBL Project Everest DD67000. This is not a compromised setup. This is what happens when you take two best-in-class products and just let them do what they're built for. Whether you're running Accuphase and trying to figure out which speaker it deserves, or you're already running the Everest and wondering what amplification it's actually capable of, this is the part of the video that matters. Because neither of these is the kind of product you pair carelessly. So why the JBL Project Everest? It starts with philosophy. Accuphase's name literally means accurate phase. Honest, uncolored reproduction. No flattery, no added warmth to make a recording sound better than it is. Put them together and there's nowhere for a bad recording to hide. But a great recording, it sounds exactly like it should. Now here's something that matters specifically if you're running Class A. The DD67000 has a sensitivity of 96 dB. That means it produces 96 dB of sound pressure from just 1 watt of input. At real listening volumes in this room, the A300 is putting out maybe 2 or 3 watts. A Class A amplifier running that far below its rated output is in its most linear zone, the cleanest, lowest distortion zone. The Everest isn't stressing the A300, it's letting it work exactly the way Accuphase intended it. And then there's the control story. The DD67000 runs dual 15-inch woofers. That's a serious amount of cone moving a serious amount of air. The A300's damping factor is 1000. What that means in practice, the amplifier has near total control over those drivers. It tells the cone where to go and, just as importantly, when to stop. With a less controlled amplifier, dual 15-inch woofers can sound slow, heavy, like the bass is lagging behind the music. With the A300, it's tight, fast, precisely placed. It sounds like the bass is being cleaned up, but nothing was taken away. It's just controlled. If you've been shopping for speakers to pair with Accuphase and you haven't heard the Everest, you haven't heard what your system is actually capable of. And if you've been running the Everest on anything less than a proper Class A amplifier, same answer. Once you know what this sounds like, it recalibrates everything else. So, if you want to hear it for yourself, come in. The A300, the C2900, and the Project Everest DD67000 are on demonstration right here at T-Space Tampines. Walk-ins are welcome, but if you want dedicated listening time, please reach out first. Chat with us via the Sound Gallery concierge on WhatsApp. Tell us what you're looking at, what speakers you have at home, and we'll have the right setup just for you. Everything is at soundgallery.ims.com/Accuphase Singapore. If you're serious about hearing what a reference level Japanese separate system actually sounds like, come in. That's exactly what we're here for. If you want more of this, honest breakdowns of the gear we carry, what's on demo, what's actually worth your money, subscribe and hit the bell. We'll keep it real. I'll see you in the next one.